जय श्री राम। गुड इवनिंग फ्रेंड्स। जीएसटी 3 साल में कहां से कहां पहुंचा, क्या जर्नी थी इसकी। अभी कुछ दिन पहले एक सोशल मीडिया पे किसी ने मुझे फॉरवर्ड करा, बोला सर्विस टैक्स में 4 रुपए का चालान आया है। बोले साहब 10 रुपए का चालान से नीचे 4 रुपए का डिमांड ऑर्डर आया है। तो मैंने उससे कहा भाई पे कर दे। उसका क्वेश्चन था कि साहब 10 रुपए से नीचे तो पे नहीं करना होता। मैं कहा भाई अगर उन्होंने दोबारा इंटरेस्ट के साथ जोड़कर भेज दिया 11 रुपए हो गया तो रिप्लाई कॉस्ट ज्यादा पड़ेगी। और जीएसटी में गुजरात में 2017 में कुछ पैसों में भी नोटिस आए थे, शायद याद करो, आए थे। व्हाट डज इट मीन्स? देयर आर नो प्रोविजन फॉर रनिंग ऑफ। दे कैन सेंड शो ऑफ नोटिस टू एनीवन एंड फॉर एवरीथिंग। कब तक ऐसा चलता रहेगा? एंड अगर एज ए प्रोफेशनल हमारे को किसी हम या हमें रिसीव हो जाए या हमारे किसी क्लाइंट को रिसीव हो जाए, तो हाउ वी हैव टू टेक केयर ऑफ इट। उसको रिप्लाई कैसे करना है। और हमारा तो क्लाइंट कुछ इस तरह के होते हैं कि साहब जो भी चिट्ठी उनके पास आ जाए बिना खोले चिट्ठी लेकर हमारे पास आ जाते हैं और हमें चिट्ठी देते हैं कि साहब ये चिट्ठी आई है। चाहे 143(1) का एक्नॉलेजमेंट ऑर्डर आता था पहले, तो वो भी हमारे पास एनवलप में बिना सील खुले मिलता था हमें कि साहब ये चिट्ठी आ गई, ये पता नहीं क्या हो गया, बॉम्ब गिर गया, हिरोशिमा नागासाकी पे बॉम्ब गिरा दिया। कुछ साल पहले तो रिफंड के चेक आते थे तो वो भी लेने से क्लाइंट डरते थे, हमारे पास आ जाते थे सिर्फ पोस्टमैन दे रहा है, कुछ ले ना ले। और आज की दौर में सारे नोटिसेस ऑनलाइन मिलते हैं, इट कम्स ऑनलाइन। और आपने अगर ऑनलाइन गए, चेक नहीं करा, देन दीज आर टाइम बार्ड। जीएसटीआर 10 में सबसे बड़ा प्रॉब्लम लोगों को ये आ रहा है जो फाइनल रिटर्न है कि साहब उन्हें पता ही नहीं चला कब उनका कैंसिलेशन ऑर्डर आ गया एंड दे वर नॉट एबल टू फाइल जीएसटीआर 10। अब इतने नोटिस आएंगे तो इनको हैंडल कैसे करा जाएगा। इस समस्या को दूर करने के लिए मैंने आज इनवाइट किया है हमारे बड़ी सीनियर प्रोफेशनल और इस मैटर में जीएसटी के इन डेप्थ जानने वाले श्री राजेंद्र अरोड़ा जी का परिचय देता
धन्यवाद
हूँ।
सर।
वैसे तो
धन्यवाद।
परिचय की जरूरत नहीं है, लेकिन ऐसा फॉर्मेलिटी टोकन इनका परिचय देता हूँ। ये दूसरी बार भी एनआईआरसी मेंबर है, एग्जीक्यूटिव बॉडी में है और बहुत सारी पोस्ट पर रह चुके हैं। इनडायरेक्ट टैक्सेस में भी इनका बहुत इंटरेस्ट था और वैट पर भी इन्होंने एक बुक लिखी थी। और बाकी छोटे छोटे कंपाइलेशन तो इनके सर्विस टैक्स पर भी मैंने कई बार पढ़े हैं। और आज के दौर में बहुत सीरियसली अगर कोई जीएसटी को पढ़ रहा है, टाइम दे रहा है, तो वो ये है। इनके रेगुलरली आर्टिकल सब जगह पब्लिश होते रहते हैं। स्पेसिफिकली टैक्समैन पर तो इनके आजकल रेगुलर आर्टिकल्स आ रहे हैं। एंड ये तो समझने वाली बात है कि समय कैसे निकालते कैसे हैं। और वेबिनार्स में भी रोज होते हैं। तो इस दौर में समझने की जरूरत यह है कि किस तरह से नोटिस एक्सेप्ट करे जाएंगे, मैनेज करे जाएंगे। और एक और बात इनकी बहुत अच्छी है कि ये आज भी मतलब इसको एजुकेशन को इतनी सीरियसली लेते हैं कि इनके कई सारे ग्रुप्स पर ये फोटो डालते रहते हैं फेसबुक वगैरह पर कि वीकली मीटिंग ये करते रहते हैं कि साहब आज हमने इस ग्रुप से आज जीएसटी पर डिस्कशन करा, आज इस चीज पर। तो ये बेसिकली एक एकेडमिशन, ट्रू एकेडमिशन है। और मुझे लगता नहीं कि इनसे बढ़िया कोई मैं समझा पाएगा कि जो नोटिस आ रहे हैं या आएंगे उनका रिप्लाई कैसे करा जाए। और जीएसटी एक ऐसा है कि जैसे चेस हम याद करते हैं ना, जो लोग फॉर्मली चेस पढ़ते हैं तो उसमें लिखा होता है कि साहब इसने ये वाला मोहरा चला ओपनिंग में तो आपको इसी मोहरे से जवाब देंगे, तो इसको सिसिलियन डिफेंस बोलेंगे, इसको ये बोलेंगे। तो जीएसटी में कुछ इस तरह है कि साहब उसने एक फॉर्म आपको दिया तो रिप्लाई का एक अलग फॉर्म है, फिर वो अलग से अलग रिप्लाई देगा, फिर अलग फॉर्म है। इसको सिंपल भी करा जा सकता है कि वो एक फॉर्म दे दे और एक फॉर्म में आप दे दो, नहीं, लेकिन वो हर एक चीज के फॉर्म नंबर्स डाल रखे हैं जीएस को, इतना प्रोसीजर घुमा रखा है। सिंपल सिंपल नहीं हो सकता कि भाई एक फॉर्म उसने दे दिया, हमने रिप्लाई दे दिया, भाई उसी को दोबारा दे दो। जीएसटी में भैया उसने एक बार दिया, दूसरा दिया, तीसरा दिया, ये इस तरह है। सो ये, और आज की डेट में तो हम जीएसटी रिटर्न्स में ही परेशान है, रिटर्न्स ही याद नहीं होती। क्या ड्यू डेट है, क्या नंबर है, 1.5 करोड़ अलग, 5 करोड़ अलग, 1.5 करोड़ के ऊपर नीचे अलग, प्लस स्टेट वाइज अलग। सो ये सब समस्याओं के साथ अगर जीएसटी के नोटिस का भी रिप्लाई करने पड़ जाए तो मुझे नहीं लगता कि बिना एक्सपर्ट की हेल्प के हम कर सकते। तो आई थिंक इस तरह के सेक्शंस को समझने के लिए मुझे लगता है कि ऐसे इस समय सबसे जरूरत है जो नोटिस को समझें, बताएं, क्योंकि नोटिस के जो फॉर्मेट है वो रूल्स में दिए हुए हैं। और जो सबसे पहला नोटिस शुरू हो जाता है वो रूल 9 सब रूल 2 से शुरू हो जाता है, जहां आप रजिस्ट्रेशन लेते हैं। वहीं से नोटिस की गाथा शुरू हो जाती है और ये अनंत गाथा है। तो इसके लिए मैं इनवाइट करूंगा हमारे बहुत ही लर्नेड, एजुकेटेड और इस फील्ड के बहुत सीरियस एक्सपर्ट श्री राजेंद्र सिंह अरोड़ा जी का। बहुत बहुत स्वागत है सर आपका।
Thank you, sir.
And I'm muting.
Thank you, Abhishek ji, for having me invited and being so generous in introducing me also. I feel those were kind words enough, and I feel that I do not stand to that extreme amount of generosity. But still, yes, I would try my level best always to do good into this subject and into the profession with utmost sincerity and honesty. Friends, the topic which has been assigned to me today is about replying show cause notices. Now, question here is, my dear friends, as Abhishek Bhai was also referring to various circumstances under which I would say various weird circumstances under which notices are being issued by the department. Till March, we have been evidencing that good amount of notices were issued, whether with respect to outstanding interest liability on the gross portion or the mismatches which were there between 3B and 2A, between 1 and 3B, and there were other issues also which were there. And interestingly though, those notices which were being sent to us by emails, whether it is with regard to demand of interest on gross tax payable under section 50 subsection 1, or with respect to mismatches between 3B and 2A, those notices were not issued by way of following the proper methodology which was prescribed under the Act. They were only sending the mails by which they were demanding the tax portion, or they were interest portion, or they were demanding the tax if there is a big difference between 3B and 2A. Notwithstanding, these matters are to be dealt separately while replying to those notices. And after the setting in of this pandemic in the economy, in the world, I would say that those notices or responses by the department have been halted to a reasonable, very small extent. But yes, they have stopped sending those notices to a larger extent, but not completely. They are still sending various others notices, various others communications. Although there have been a general relief given by the CBIC by way of notification 55/20 CT Central Text, which says that if a summon is being sent to you under Section 70 or a show cause is being issued to you, then the time period from 20th March till 30th August 2020 shall not be counted for the reply of these notices or show causes. But still, they have been sending, they have been asking for various demands. Still, they are taking coercive actions, although the CBIC has said at many point of time, ministry has said many point of time that due to this pandemic uh, uh, turmoil or a setback into the economy, no coercive action shall be taken by the department. But it is not happening. Anyways, that's a separate matter altogether. One has to see that when you have to push on for the money, when you have to actually, even if we have some debtors, still during the businesses also, uh, we always take the matter into consideration that whether we should ask for the money from our legitimate debtors even, but the department is not considering that legitimacy, that moral grounds for sending notices and taking actions against. So that has to be judged, that has to be seen by the courts also, by the, of course, when the tribunal would be formed, would be taken care by, very well taken care by the tribunal also. So in other words, I would like to say that at present this is the situation, but all said and done, we have to get ready now for next series of such kind of communications from the department, whether by way of mails or actually issuing notices under Section 73 or 74 of the Act. Because for 17/18, 7th February 2020, the last date for filing annual returns already passed, and that period of 3 years or 5 years under Section 73 or 74 respectively has already been started, and within that period they have to identify, determine. There is a problem outside, आवाज नहीं आनी चाहिए. They have to determine if any deficiency of tax is there, or you have taken the inappropriate input tax credit, or you have suppressed the supply, or you have taken the refund which was not due to you. So 3 years or 5 years have already been started from 7th February 2020 under Section 73 or 74 respectively. So, but we should be ready now that future notices are around the corner. The moment these economies or the markets will open up, or things will little bit settle down, and what I visualize is today, my dear friends, that now the notices would be with respect to all those aspects which are making rounds of discussion during this pandemic, such like availability of input tax credit, the tax rate on sanitizers, like there is a much talk which has been happening amongst the economy, society, all the stakeholders, that what is the actual rate of GST on sanitizers, whether it is 12% or 3004 HSN, or I believe 3808 HSN on the sanitizers, or what would be the fate of input tax credit on health insurance taken by the organization for its staff, what would be the fate of input tax credit on masks, sanitizers, other COVID protection items, what would be the fate of of course, we will be discussing about. Don't worry, we have sufficient time of 2 hours. So not only I will be taking you to the nitty gritty of the uh, of course, the from the beginning of the notices till reply of the notices. How does a particular notice originate, and then what is to be done immediately after receiving it, and then how to reply it also. So we'll be taking all these talks separately, but I would like to set the tone by making you sensitize about what kind of notices or on what issues we are going to find that notices are going to be issued in times to come immediately after the problem or the turmoil of this pandemic settles down, though they are not still not being stopped from issuing notices, but yes, still uh, they are still taking a little bit precaution in issuing. But after that, you have seen that Goa AAR about the tax rate of sanitizers, which has they have pronounced that the tax rate shall be 18% instead of 12%, and these kind of issues are going to be talk of the town, and these are going to be the basis for issuing fresh show cause in times to come. So this is what I wanted to begin with, and now I will take you to the specific issues.
What happened, sir?
Are you able to see my PPT?
Yes, sir. Now we are able to. Yes, sir.
Uh, Abhishek ji, I am not able to see the.
नहीं, you have to do all tab. All tab. No, sir, आपने
Okay,
might be आपने ना अपना screen share कर दिया. You need not to share your screen.
I
Once
will be stop sharing it.
you
I
share
now
application window. Application window.
application window,
Sir.
application window, and this PPT.
Yes, sir.
Got it. Now I
And
have to do all tab. Is
no,
it
no.
shared now?
Yes, sir. It is available here.
Wonderful,
So you have
wonderful.
to move with alt tab.
Yeah,
And whenever there would be a question, I will bring the question or anything, whatever the participant will comment, will come here. Whenever you feel taking question, you can take or we can take it at the end. You don't get
okay,
disturbed
right, sir.
with this. Okay, sir?
Right,
I'm
sir.
muting
Right,
myself again, sir. Thank you.
right, sir. So, questions have already started flowing in. I understand this is the topic which has been troubling each one of us in past a lot, and take it from me that it would be the topic which would trouble all of us the most in times to come, because uh, it is not difficult for them to send a notice or a question, whether that sustains or not, that you have to ensure. And but it is not difficult, it does not take anything from them to send a notice to you. Anyways, uh, Kathiravan ji, please stay with us. I will answer your queries also. But let me start with the program. I am sorry, but this is not merely a question answer platform. If you want to ask only questions, you can join us tomorrow at GST Mantra also, and where we only take questions and answers, and no technical discussion, only your question and my replies to that. GST Mantra, you Google it, you will find it, and then join tomorrow. Anyways, so let's begin with it. Abhishek ji, I am not able to move on with the PPT.
Sir, you have to alt shift and then now it is moving, sir.
Okay. So issuance of show cause is governed by two sections in the Act. Few days back, one of my friend asked me that what is the correlation between section 73, 74 and 122 subsection 1, subsection 2. 122 is talking about the offenses and their penalties. The language which is used in subsection 122 subsection 2, 122 subsection 2 is the similar language which is used in 73, 74. Now, let me clarify this doubt of yours also at the beginning only, that what is the correlation between 73, 74 and 122. My dear friends, what happens is that wherever department finds that there is a problem in your already self-assessed data, or they have some reasons to believe some information, some material available with them on which they are willing to act upon, and they feel that some taxes are short paid, or some inputs are wrongly availed, or some refunds are wrongfully claimed, then the problem is that they have to take separate action to recover that amount. In order to recover that amount, the action is being initiated under section 73 or 74. We'll find the difference also between the 73 and 74. But the action is initiated technically in 73 or 74, but the penalty shall always be levied under section 122, or if specific penalty is not there under section 122, general penalty under section 125 or 129 or 132. So always there would be the beginning of any proceeding to determine the additional tax. Additional tax, please mind my words, under section 73, 74 only. But the penalty shall be imposed into a respective section of penalty. It could be 122, 125, 129, 132, anything. But initiation of the determination of the additional tax, interest or penalty shall be done under section 73 or 74. Now let's be very clear about it, that there has to be, first of all, tax. If there is no tax payable, then there cannot be any interest or penalty leviable. For example, I have purchased some material from a dealer. Listen to me very carefully. These are very interesting and beautiful situations which come to me every day and out, and I treasure them to share with my fellow colleagues in these type of programs. Abhishek ji has been kind enough to give me this topic because this topic is very near to me. So there was an NGO. The example which I am trying to tell you, there was an NGO which bought some material from a supplier, and that supplier was a fly-by-night operator kind of a, and he supplied material to that NGO, a educational institution. Let's take an example of a college who bought some material, booked as fixed assets, because outward supply of that college is exempt under notification 12/17 CTR. So the input tax credit is also not available to them. They only booked the purchases and did not claim any input tax credit. Now the question arises, if they have not claimed any input tax credit, whether interest or penalty can be levied upon them. My dear friends, when we go back and deep into the provisions of section 73, 74, 122 offenses and penalties, unless there is no tax, it would be very difficult to, rather I would say it would be impossible to levy interest, because interest is always in a compensatory nature, and penalty is in punishment in nature. Punishment for non-compliance, when there is no tax availed which was not supposed to be availed. There is no non-compliance, there is no offense at all. If there is no offense, there cannot be a penalty. And similarly, if there is no availment of input tax credit, wrong availment of input tax credit, there is no suppression of tax, there is no fraudulent refund claimed or wrong refund claim. Let me not take it, let me not call it fraudulent, but wrong refund claim. There is no tax evasion, there is no tax involved. There cannot be interest because there is no tax taken which was not due to me. So there is no compensation due to the department also, the government also. So let's be very clear about it. Sometimes these type of situations emerge in front of us where there is no tax at all. So there cannot be any interest. If the department says that pay penalty, please put your foot down and say, send me a notice, show cause me, and then I will reply accordingly. I'll go into those details also, how to reply, how to, what actions are to be taken while accepting the show cause notice. What is to be done while accepting? Like Abhishek Bhai was telling me that even the refund checks, when they used to come, they do not used to accept it. So this is the situation. Whether you accept it or not, under section 169 of the act, there are various ways and means prescribed in the act to serve the notices to you. We'll discuss briefly about that also during our presentation. So you're going to enjoy about it. Don't worry. Sit tight, relax, and enjoy what I'm going to take you to. This is gone altogether a different kind of a journey, which does not happen quite a few times, especially in GST, because not much is talked and spoken about show causes under GST. Even I have written an article on, rightly pointed out by Abhishek ji, on Taxman about the reply of show cause notices. I have tried to make it very lucid. So this presentation is also available for the future references. I'll share it with you wherever, whosoever wants. And even you can refer to that article also published on Taxman. So that was one point which I wanted to bring home. Now let's move on. Issuance of show cause notice. One point I have already clarified, that notice shall be issued under either section 73 or 74. And after the determination of tax, recovery shall be initiated under section 79. Recovery cannot be initiated unless there is no determination of tax, except the recovery of those taxes which are accepted by you under self-assessment medium. If you have filed your 3B or 1, and there was a judgment of Madhya Pradesh High Court, I forgot the citation of the judgment, but Madhya Pradesh High Court, I believe it was a reality company. It was a mall like of a company which used to give places of rent, shops of mall on rent, and they filed GSTR1. They filed GSTR1, but they did not file the GSTR 3B. That's a usual practice which is being taken by taxpayers when they don't have, or they don't have taxes, or they don't have willingness to pay taxes. So the matter went to the Madhya Pradesh High Court. The department sent the notices, but the taxpayer was playing smart, did not receive the notice. And then under section 83, the department attached the bank account, and 79 proceedings were initiated without, listen to me very carefully, without issuing show cause under section 73 or 74. They straight away attached the bank account and initiated the recovery proceedings. And under section 79, there is a provision in the law that you can always send letters to the debtors of the taxpayer, that if you want to pay money, then don't pay to the taxpayer, but pay to us. And the department sent the letters to the tenants of the mall that don't pay the rent to the Kabir Reality. Yes, Kabir Reality was the judgment citation. Kabir Reality, MP High Court. That is a beautiful judgment. And we'll talk about some specific issues by way of jurisprudence also, like one more judgment LC Infra we'll discuss. But let's go one by one. Then the department went to an extent of attaching the bank account and sending the garnishing notices to the debtors that the rent to be paid to them instead of the Kabir Realty. And then the Kabir Realty went to the Honorable High Court, Madhya Pradesh High Court. And the argument what Kabir Realty did was that the department, without determining the tax, listen to me very carefully, that the department, without determining the tax, initiated recovery proceedings, that is bad in law. And they attached the bank account without giving us the show cause and without giving us the opportunity of being heard. That is bad in law. Now the MP High Court decided the case, saying that in this particular instance, otherwise Kabir Realty was an habitual offender. In service tax regime also, they have been doing the same thing. They were not paying service tax for regular, and even the department went to gave them the relaxation of paying service tax in installments, but they were not even regular in paying their installments also. The same thing they continued with the GST regime also. So the MP High Court said that for the purpose of recovery, one, the department do not require to separately determine the tax which is already been admitted by you under GSTR 1. Now listen to me very carefully. The Honorable High Court said that come what may, whether you have not paid the tax, no worries. You have filed the GSTR 1. GSTR 1 is sufficient declaration on your behalf that these were your outward supplies which have been made by you during a specific period. And for that matter, the recovery can be initiated without determining the tax which is already admitted by you. The department can recover the amount which is already admitted by you. Now, although the judgment went into favor of revenue, Kabir Realty lost it. I do not know whether they have gone to Apex Court or not. I believe they have not, because it is a 3, 4, 5 months back case. So if they have, must have, though we must have come to know. So, but the question which I want to bring home with this judgment is that the self-assessed tax may not require to have show cause notices. But after this judgment, because Kabir Realty said that GSTR 1 is just a statement of outward supply, it is not a return, and I do not admit the tax liability by way of GSTR 1. So what happened post Kabir Realty, MP High Court, the department, when they released the new RET 1, 2 or 3 and 2, 1A, 2A, 3, they have made one declaration compulsory from every taxpayer. Listen to me very carefully. They have made one declaration compulsory from every taxpayer stating that before filing your RET 1, 2 or 3, whatever it is, whatever according to your transaction type of transactions is, you admit, there is a checkbox that while filing RET 1, the outward supply which you are mentioning in this RET 1, 2, 3, you admit that it is your legitimate output tax liability. Look at the result of a judgment, MP High Court, where the argument of the taxpayer was that it is just a statement of outward supply, it is not a return. I never have admitted that it is my outward supply because I have a right to amend it also. So they have made it compulsory in the portal itself in RET 1 return that unless you do not accept that checkbox, and there is no. Generally what happens is yes or no, 2 check boxes are there, there is only 1 checkbox, yes. You cannot say no, that I do not admit it. You have to admit it, then only you will be able to file your GSTR 1 type of return, that is RET 1, statement of our return of outward supply. So what I want to bring home is that these are the issues which are popping up and which are going to be there on the surface, quite a large number, and be ready for these issues. And For those who are listening me and have a flair or the passion about the subject, I only suggest one simple thing. People ask me that how to read the law, sir. Law has already passed 36 months. Now it is 20th day of the law. 36 months, 20 days. It is very difficult to catch hold. Whatever is past now happened. Do two things. Keep a strong, regular, close monitoring what is happening now by way of CBIC, GST Council, notifications, circulars. Two, please have feel of whatever is being decided by various high courts and apex court. But with a word of caution, do not go by the advance rulings, my dear friends. Advance rulings, I openly call them adverse rulings. There is one advance ruling which I came across yesterday only while having a closed group webinar. We have started this series of closed group webinars. Those who are interested can please get in touch with me, having a weekly closed group webinar by way of which that we can enhance our reading, writing, speaking skills. So I came across one very interesting judgment of advance ruling, of Maharashtra advance ruling. I don't remember the name of the applicant who sought the advance ruling. And this is a beautifully designed advance ruling. Let me give you 2 minutes on that. What happened? The applicant went to the Maharashtra Advance Ruling Authority, sought a question. He asked, sir, I import material and store material across the country, having godowns across the country. And I supply material from there only, but I raise invoice from Mumbai only. I raise invoice from Mumbai only, but I have only godowns there, nothing doing. Kuch nahi hai aur mera wahan par. Then the Advance Ruling Authority, Honorable Advance Ruling Authority of Maharashtra, question was that do I require to have registration in every place where I have a godown? AAR replied that do not require to have registration to every place wherever you are having godown, because you are raising invoice from here only, so you are making taxable supply from here only. Now you can very well imagine that he has a godown, he must have employed people there, he's having a permanent establishment there, he's making taxable supplies from there. Although invoice is raised because of simplicity's sake, because of control purposes, because of the cloud data computing and everything from the head office maybe at Mumbai, but how can you say that there is no requirement of registration at places where you store goods? You have a fixed establishment there. But the Advance Ruling Authority, with all their wisdom, decided that do not require registration at every place where you have a godown. Continue having Mumbai place registration, because the moment you will continue having Mumbai place registration, maximum tax shall belong to Mumbai only. But I don't know what they have thought. When somebody has a godown at Telangana, won't you think the Telangana government would ask that particular godown people that you are making supplies from here, you are storing godown, you are having a fixed establishment, you are hiring people, you are having dispatch people, you are having logistic people there, then why can't you pay tax? Why don't you have to pay tax here at Telangana? Why Mumbai will have IGST billing and then it will reach to Telangana and then the internal clearings will happen? No. No government will agree to it. But Mumbai, Maharashtra Advance Ruling Authority, because in order to have maximum revenue belonging to Mumbai only, Maharashtra only gave this judgment. So please do not go by the Advance Ruling Authority judgments. It is my humble request. Otherwise, you will be completely lost. You will not have the exact understanding of the law. Anyways, so moving ahead, now let's read section 73 and 74. Situation, there are 3 columns you can see on your screen, particular section 73, 74. Situation of proposing GST demand of tax, interest, penalty, etc. What is the situation? Situation is, section 73 reads, when tax is not paid or short paid or wrong availed or utilization of ITC or refund is erroneously refunded. These are the 5 reasons you have not paid the tax. or paid the tax, should have been 18%, but you paid 12% only, short paid. No ITC available, but you wrongly availed, you wrongly utilized also. Now this is a confusion. Availed and utilized both are simultaneously used. Do not go into that detail abhi. Refund is erroneously refunded. So these are the 5 reasons because of which section 73 can be invoked. For reason other than fraud or willful misstatement or suppression of facts to evade taxes. 73 says, I am not assuming that you have an intention to evade taxes. You have an intention to suppress facts. You have an intention to willfully give misstatement. Same things with a reason of fraudulent intent, 74 covers. 74 deals with the same situations but conducted with the intent of evade taxes, the fraudulent intent. The time limit for issuance of show cause notice under section 73 is 3 months prior to the issuance of order, 6 months prior to the issuance of order. Time limit for passing an order, 3 years. Listen, read it carefully, my dear friends. 3 years from the due date of furnishing of annual return for the financial year for which tax has not been paid, short paid, wrong availed, or from the date of 3 years from the date of erroneous refund. So now for 17-18, 7th Feb was the date, last date of filing annual return. So you have to wait till 2021, 22, 23. 3 years, 7th Feb, 6th Feb, 23. Till then, 73 notice can come to your place, can come to your door, and you have to. But this notice has to be issued 3 months prior to the issuance of order. Means 6th Feb 2023. The order has to be passed. So 3 months prior to that, notice has to be issued. If it is not issued, if it is issued after 3 months from the due date of notice, maybe in January 2023, they issued a notice. Bad in law, they cannot do so. Same time limit is doubled. Of course, 3 months, from 3 months, it is 6 months from the date of issuance of order, and from 3 years, total period for determining or for adjudicating every process into section 73 becomes 5 years from 3 years in 74. So now this is called, in earlier law, it used to be called extended period of invocation. Now, extended period can be invoked only with the intent when it is proved that there is an intent of fraud. But it has to be brought to the book, brought to the record that there was an intent of willful misstatement, suppression of facts, or fraud. Then only the extended period can be invoked. We will be discussing that when can extended period be not invoked. We'll discuss that also. Okay. The basis of issuance of show cause or demand is offense. Offense is not defined under CGST Act, my dear friends. Offense shall mean any act or omission made punishable by any law for the time being in force. This is General Clauses Act. An offense would always mean an act of omission or commission which would be punishable by any law for the time being in force. My dear friends, listen to me carefully. You have disclosed everything but could not pay taxes on particular part of it. It cannot be considered to be an offense because you have disclosed it. But yes, we'll go. Mere intention to commit an offense would not constitute an offense, as a will is not to be taken for deed unless there be some external act showing progress towards maturing and effecting it. This is Ram Kripal versus State of MP, Supreme Court judgment. There has to be a positive act towards committing it. Merely intention to commit an act would not constitute an act. There, I tried to do something, but I could not do it. So I cannot be considered to be offended. I cannot be considered to be committed an offense. So that needs to be very carefully examined, my dear friends. What is a show cause notice? In order to adhere to the principles of natural justice before raising any tax demand, a notice informing the offense made by the assessee has to be issued. Generally, it is referred as show cause notice. Asking the person chargeable with tax to show cause as to why the specified amount of tax should not be demanded from you. It is already said show cause, always said show cause. Show cause why this tax should not be demanded from you, this interest should not be demanded from you, this penalty should not be demanded from you. The issuance of show cause grants an opportunity to such person to defend himself before adjudication. Before finalization of any demand, before crystallization of any demand, show cause gives a person on whom the show cause is issued an opportunity of being heard. There is a what you call that jurisprudence to this, audi altum pultum. Nobody can be decided prejudice to him unless unheard. Nobody can be decided unless unheard. So no offense can be decided unless it is not been heard from him. Opportunity of being heard, audi altum pultum. The person to whom such notice has been issued can contest the demand by filing a reply to the show cause and appearing before the adjudicating authority. Only after the hearing, a speaking order has to be passed or can be passed. Unless there is no hearing provided, in this law, section 73 gives power to the adjudicating authority to give three adjournments, my dear friends, to the entire proceedings. So let's be very clear about it. 73 and 74 gives three opportunities to adjournment. So if you go beyond that, they may decide without taking any cognizance of further future material which you may be providing. So three opportunities for adjournment can be given. Under the act itself, it has been provided. Now this is LC infra which I was referring to. Show cause notice is a primary step for initiating recovery proceedings. It is a very important judgment. It says the issuance of show cause is sine qua non. It is indispensable to proceed with the recovery. It is the first step. Issuance of show cause is sine qua non. Sine qua non is the first step to proceed with the recovery of interest payable thereon under section 50 of the Act and penalty leviable under the provisions of the Act or the rules. Undisputably, the interest payable under section, this was a case about section 50 interest, where they attached the bank account without giving show cause. So the LC Infra went to the High Court, Karnataka High Court, and the High Court decided that interest under section 50 has been determined by the third respondent authority without issuing show cause, which is a breach of principles of natural justice. It is a trite law. It is a common law that any order passed by the quasi-judicial authorities in contravention of the principle of natural justice cannot be sustained. So unless show cause is not made, opportunity of being heard is not given, even the tax, which is self-determined, self-assessed by me, interest on thereon cannot be demanded. The question was, let's read the last para of this judgment. After determination of the interest liable to be paid by the determined petitioner, no notice has been issued before attaching the bank account of the petitioner. There is a lapse on the part of the third respondent authority. The notion, listen to me carefully now, read it carefully. The notion of the third respondent authority that section 75(12) of the Act empowers the authority to proceed with recovery without issuing show cause is only misconceived. The said section is applicable only to the self-assessment made by the assessee and not to the quantification or determination made by the authority. Section 75(12) says you can go ahead with recovery of the self-assessed tax. The department can go ahead with the recovery, can initiate 79 proceedings, recovery proceedings, without giving show cause to those taxes which are admitted by the taxpayer while filing its 3B. If you file your 3B, declared 1 lakh rupees tax, 10 lakh rupees turnover. On this 1 lakh recovery, if you have not paid, recovery can be initiated without show cause. But when you have calculated interest on that 1 lakh, you have determined the tax without giving show cause, opportunity of being heard, opportunity of reply to that additional text determined, you cannot initiate recovery. So let's be very clear, bank account cannot be attached in case of interest demanded on self-assessed text. It was happening pre-lockdown, pre this pandemic, when the notices were sent to, I would not even call them notices, only emails were sent to the assessees, taxpayers, that this much of tax, this much of additional interest is due because you have filed the 3B late, and according to section 750, tax interest is due on gross, you have paid on net, so we are asking you to pay the difference also. One, that notice is totally invalid because that is not under any specific section. It has to be show cause under section 73. But you should always reply that mail also. But please, replying that please tell us that under which section this notice or this communication is made. Of course, I would be talking about the document identification number also with respect to every communication made by the department, commonly called as DIN. You have DIN in MCA, we have DIN in GST also. So what I was discussing, that the tax which was being self-admitted by me, but if an interest or penalty is determined by the department, they cannot initiate recovery proceedings unless they give me an opportunity of being heard by way of issuance of show cause notice under section either 73 or 74. So that was decided by LC Infra, my dear friends. There are some other Supreme Court judgments also in earlier regimes. Metal forging UOI 1995 judgment, Supreme Court. Show cause is a mandatory requirement for raising demands, and that communications, orders, suggestions, or advices from department cannot be deemed to be a show cause. What I was referring to, your suggestions or advices or orders or communications cannot be show cause. You have to have a show cause under section 73 or 74. Otherwise, no other document can be considered to be show cause. And for raising any demand, you have to have a show cause. Don't worry about having a show cause issued, my dear friends. What happens with professionals? Oh, show cause is issued, now what will you do? We are lost, we are dead now, this will happen, that will happen. Don't worry about that. Being a professional, that's the real thing which you are supposed to do, which you are made to do. Being a chartered accountant, you are actually made to reply to these kind of communications by the department. Merely filing compliance returns is not our, we are not made for that. The metal used to make us, we chartered accountants, is something different, my dear friends. And we are not utilizing the actual potential of the metal used inside. We are not reading the user's manual of chartered accountant. We have become chartered accountant, but majority of us are not reading the user's manual of how to be a chartered accountant. So please read the user's manual. I have copied this word from Sadhguru when he was referring to that human mind is the most intelligent machine can be made on this earth, and we are using it, we are applying it without reading the user's manual. The entire body is the most sophisticated machine, and we are not able to use it to its actual potential because we have not read the user's manual. Similarly, chartered accountants also are capable of much more things what they are doing, but they have not read the user's manual. Please don't ask me where would we find actually the user's manual. So now this was the judgment which says that you cannot determine any tax without giving show cause, and your merely communication or no order or mail or anything advice cannot be considered to be an order, cannot be considered to be a show cause. So you cannot determine any tax by way of sending an email to me. Please make note of Metal Forging UOI 1995 judgment, Supreme Court. SL Kapoor versus Jagmohan 1980 Supreme Court. The non-observance of natural justice is itself prejudice to any man, and proof of prejudice independently of proof of denial of natural justice is unnecessary. You have not given me the opportunity of being heard. It is totally, I would say, prejudiced against me. So anything which is prejudiced against me is unconstitutional. Article 19 refers to my basic fundamental rights of these situations. I have a right to be heard, and you are not giving me an opportunity. So this is unconstitutional. Unconstitutional. Even the earlier master circular was issued on show cause notices. And why I'm trying to bring home all these issues, my dear friends, because immediately after looking at show cause notice, I'm sorry to say, mind stops functioning. But please don't do that. The moment you will do that, you'll not be able to reply it properly. The moment you see a show cause, you should be feeling happy. Now is the chance to screw them. Now is the chance to actually express my true potential of being a chartered accountant. So wait for the show cause. That show causes will give you to use your potential. Your installed capacity is 100% and you are using is only 5%, my dear friends. Show cause is the starting point of any legal proceedings. Master circular way back in 2017. The department issued 10th March 2017 in the earlier law, erstwhile service tax regime. Show cause is the starting point of any legal proceedings against the party. It lays down the entire framework for the proceedings that are intended to be undertaken. The entire proceedings lays down the framework of the entire proceeding that is intended to be undertaken, and therefore it should be drafted with utmost care. And nowadays, what we notice that 70% of show causes are not properly drafted, and that's why on the first hearing in the tribunal they are being set aside. The entire proceedings taken on the basis of the I would say ill-drafted, invalid show cause is being set aside by the various honorable tribunals. Issuance of show cause is a statutory requirement and it is a basic document. It is written in the master circular issued by then CBEC. Issuance of show cause is a statutory requirement and it is a basic document for settlement of any dispute relating to tax liability or any punitive action to be undertaken for contravention of provisions of central excise and the rules made thereunder. A SCN offers the noticee an opportunity to submit his oral or written submission before the adjudicating authority on the charges alleged in the show cause. So you will find the charges also which are alleged against you. They will frame the entire document. They'll frame the entire proceedings which they are intended to charge against you. The issuance of SCN is a mandatory requirement according to the principle of natural justice, which are commonly known as audi ultum pultum, which means that no one should be condemned unheard, which I have referred you. When is a show cause notice issued? Show cause is the first stage of litigation under GST, as the master circular of March 17 also referred the same. Is to be issued for proposing any demand of tax, interest, fees or penalty, and is required to be issued for taking action with respect to payment of tax collected from any person which has not been deposited with the government exchequer. Under GST, department is required to issue SCN when tax either not paid, short paid, erroneously refunded, any tax paid is wrongly availed or utilized, any demand of tax, interest, fee or penalty is to be proposed. Then show cause is issued. Now let's examine show cause is received by us. Now let's examine the show cause notice, that piece of paper which comes to us. Nowadays you may find it physically, not notices are not coming, but on GSTN portal only. Since SCN is the foundation of notices defense and department's allegation, therefore, notices should critically examine the show cause. Show cause must be issued within the time limits as prescribed in 73-74, 3 months prior to the issuance of order and 6 months prior to the issuance of order, 73-74 respectively. It should be issued along with the documents relied upon by the department. Very, very important. If SCN is issued plain paper running into 5 papers, 7 pages, 10 pages, normally happens. 15 pages normally happens. Running into 15 pages. But they have not mentioned on what documents they have relied upon. However, if relied upon documents are made available subsequent to show cause, then the date of receipt of RUD shall be considered as date of receipt of SCN. So unless they have said we are willing to charge you tax on these transactions which have come to our notice, they have not given you the documents relied upon. Today on 20th July, they sent you, it served you a notice. After 10 days, they sent you the RUDs. So the service of notice shall be considered to be on 31st July when they sent you the RUDs also, relied upon documents also. It has been held in the following judgments that merely making the relied upon documents available for inspection is not sufficient. Copies of the relied upon documents have to be furnished. आपने सिर्फ मुझे बता दिया that on these documents I have relied upon. No. You have to provide me the copies also. Unless you don't provide me copies, SCN shall not be considered to be served. These are the judgments, Rajasthan High Court and CSTAT Mumbai, where RUDs have to be physically provided also. Now you're going to enjoy each and every slide of it. SCN cannot be vague because it is the first step towards litigation. SCN must be issued clearly stating the allegations and contraventions leading to issuance of show cause. If they are hitting around bushes, if they are saying something else and then finally doing something else, don't worry. What happens? Advanced ruling authority mentioning all the legitimate legal provisions and finally saying, oh, this is to happen. Provisions do say something else. They say Ram was sent to exile for 14 years. And finally they decided, no, Ram has always been the king of Ayodhya. How can it be so? The law says Ram was sent to exile for 14 years and you decide that no, Ram has always been the king of Ayodhya till his last breath. He never came outside India. He never went to outside Ayodhya. How is it possible? Law says something different and you are pronouncing something different. This happens many times in show cause notices also. Please read it critically. Read it as if you are reading the copy notebook of your child studying in 5th standard or a 6th standard or 4th standard. That how did he or she did his or her homework. Read it critically. Classification must be rightly specified, cannot be based upon mere assumptions. So they have, if they have said we believe, no. They have to identify exact classification of services, classification of goods, rate of tax determined, exact HSN has to be produced. Otherwise it is vague. You can always object this, that correct HSN is not provided by show cause. Listen to me carefully. This also can be an objection, that correct HSN was not being, so department themselves were not clear that whether it is taxable in this or not, because they do not know whether it is taxable at all. You can say this. Statutory provisions must also be stated. If one's relief has been granted, a subsequent demand must not be issued on the same ground. Earlier year, the notice was, SCN was issued on a particular ground, relief was provided to me by the tribunal. On the same ground, another SCN issued for the next year, cannot sustain. Must be supported with evidences and statements of the assessees. Brindavan Beverages, 2007, Honorable Supreme Court. The show cause notice is the foundation on which the department has to build up its case. If the allegation in the show cause notices are not specific and are on the contrary vague, lack details, unintelligible. Ram went to exile for 14 years. Sita was abducted, and then he went to the Sri Lanka 3,000 kilometers from his place. All this is the law, and they are giving judgment something different, unintelligibly. We call it unintelligibly. So unintelligible, that is sufficient to hold that the noticee was not given proper opportunity to meet the allegation indicated in the show cause notice. So that is very much there. You cannot, it cannot survive the scrutiny of law. Then powers vested by issuing authority and receipt of show cause notice. Show cause notice must be issued by the designated authority based upon the monetary limits. Please, that also you need to be very careful. Inspector or superintendent doesn't have power to issue SC and only carry out the inquiry. So it has to be assistant commissioner, above assistant commissioner, deputy commissioner, additional commissioner. They only can issue the show cause. Inspectors or superintendents will have the power to carry on the proceedings, inquiry proceedings. The jurisdiction also has to be examined very, very carefully, that the proper jurisdictional officer has issued notice. If not, then it can be challenged on this ground also. If you're now cross empowerment, this has become talk of the town today. Because of the federal structure, center also has the power to levy GST, state also has the power to levy GST. But from the beginning of the law, in June itself, they decided that all assessees shall be jurisdictioned by or monitored or administered by the state and the center. On some issues, they have gone into the cross empowerment only on those issues which are emerging on the intelligence based. And when they have some information, intelligence information, then only the cross empowerment can happen. One assessee is being administered by the state authorities, but center has some intelligence inputs, then center can initiate the proceedings only on this basis, because otherwise it will be caused cross empowerment, cross charging. It cannot happen. If the state has the power to administer the assessee for a regular reasons, then the state only shall issue a show cause. But for intelligence information, this also needs to be very carefully taken care of, that if your jurisdictional officer has not issued a show cause, then you have to challenge that, and he has to come back that it was on the basis of the intelligence information received by me, cross empowerment has happened. Very technical, need to be very, very careful about it. Delivery of notice in terms of section 169, which I was referring to. In the case of Kashi Bartan Mandar, recent judgment, Allahabad High Court, observed as under, the assistant commissioner could not come to any conclusion that all previous modes as prescribed under section 169 are not practicable for the service of notice, and has directly resorted to service by fixation. 169 gives various modes of service of notice. They may send on mail, they may send on portal, they may send on courier, they may send on post, they may placed in front of your premises, affixed in plus front of your premises. If your premises is also not found, they may prominently affix the notice in their own premises and consider to be served. This is also mentioned in 169. But directly affixing in their own office or on the office of the noticee, in this Kashi Bartan Mandar, the officer went directly without, because that is a sequential process provided to serve notice. You send to the portal, you should send to the mail, you should send a message, you shall send on the registered post, then you can send directly to the affixation on the front side of the premises of the taxpayer. But the assistant commissioner directly sent the notice and affixed on the front side and then affixed into their own offices. So documentary evidence pertaining to all other matters were not proved in the court of law. Thus, it was concluded that the assessee was never served with the show cause. Therefore, the impugned order is not at all sustainable. Look at the situation. Notice service is challenged, and then they won the case also in Kashi Bartan Mandar, this Allahabad High Court. So, need to be very careful in each and every aspect, my dear friends. Some of the other settled principles. Invocation of extended period cannot sustain. As I was referring, that 5-year period in the section 74 cannot be sustained if issue involves interpretation of law. And in GST, 80% of issues are involved interpretation of law. Now, I do suggest very commonly to all that if there are divergent views, then the best way to save on penalty, to save on invocation of extended period, that take an opinion from an expert, base your action on the opinion given by the expert, then it becomes an issue relied upon bona fide without the intent of fraud, then the extended period cannot be invoked, my dear friends. Very, very important. And you may even send that opinion or at least a letter citing your judgment taken on the basis of your opinion received by the expert to the jurisdictional officer also. If he has anything to say, come back. Otherwise, I am relying upon it. Tomorrow, extended period cannot, 5 years cannot be invoked. Issue remained the subject matter of litigation for a considerable period of time. Earlier also this was an issue, and today also this is an issue pending. Extended period cannot be invoked. Where the confusion is there, general practice is not the charge to tax. Confusion is there, sanitizer 12%. You charge 12%. Department tomorrow comes and says, no, it is 18%. Confusion was there. You take an opinion, keep it into record, send a letter to the jurisdictional officer. Tomorrow, 74 cannot be invoked, my dear friends. I'm telling you. The only difference is that the time period is extended by 2 years. If they prove or if they charge you, not prove, charge you that you had an intent to fraud, suppress facts, willful suppression or misstatement, then 5-year period is given to them to send a show cause. Otherwise, provisions are same. Only the penalty is also harsh, higher. Element of fraud, collusion, etc. is must. Once entire data is disclosed in ST3, earlier law, the extended period cannot be invoked. This was a judgment of Bangalore CSTAT. Everything was declared in ST3. Everything is declared in GSTR1. And now you want to invoke the extended period on the rate of tax only. Cannot be done so. Extended period cannot be invoked where the department itself is not clear about the facts. Chennai Traveller. Extended period cannot be invoked where the department was aware about the facts as the SSC provided the requisite information. Look at it, the beauty of it. 2012 Gujarat High Court, the same thing which I told you. If you intimated the department, I am doing this in the present situation of non-clarity. I have sought an opinion by an expert, from an expert, relied upon that opinion and did so. No intent to defraud the revenue or evade the taxes. Because there is a confusion, multiple opinion. You sent a letter to the department. Department may come back, may not come back. If he comes back, then that is a different story. Largely, it does not come back. Tomorrow, you can always plead, I intimated the department, informed the department, I did not have any intent to defraud the revenue or evade the taxes. So no extended period can be invoked. Look at it. Mere failure to declare would not amount to willful suppression. Since for willful suppression, the positive act from the side of the SSC shall be found. So mere failure to, I could not declare my turnover in 3B, in 1, and declared in 9, even not declared in 9, then I did not, that there was no intent to, I recorded in books, but I could not declare in 3B. If at all I had an intention to defraud the revenue, I would have not recorded in books also. Delhi High Court judgment, my dear friends, in infinity. So this largely we have discussed, my dear friends. 160 also we have discussed. Now, requisites of filing reply to show cause. Opportunity of being heard. Whenever show cause is issued to enhance the liability or reduce the refund, opportunity of being heard must be extended and it cannot be denied by the revenue. Computation of demand. Very, very important. Carefully read it and listen to me. At times, the computation of amount demanded is not available or has been wrongly computed by the department. A recomputation is necessary as it may lead to reduced liability. Anyhow, if in a situation a recomputed liability tends to be more than the liability computed by the department, one need not worry, as the department cannot go beyond what has once been proposed under the show cause. They calculated 1 lakh, but wrongly calculated. Now they calculated 5 lakhs. They cannot go beyond 1 lakh. Interestingly, they calculated 1 lakh on a particular issue, wrongly calculated, recomputation done. Now the tax becomes 5 lakh from 1 lakh. Impossible now, not possible. Maximum tax can be collected is 1 lakh only, which was sent in the original show cause. Department to adjudicate only on the issue mentioned in the show cause. This is very interesting. They have pointed out 5 issues. During the proceedings, they cannot touch 6th issue. They have to send a separate show cause. Department cannot go beyond what is mentioned in show cause. So keeping in mind this principle, a reply must be filed to the point. Whatever is asked, reply to that only. Correct interpretation of law must be relied upon. One must self-interpret the law, and same must be supported by with numerous identical case laws, along with the department circulars, educational guides, notifications. Circulars and education guides are binding on the department, not on the assessee. Resort for an expert opinion also. If you are in doubt on a particular issue, take an expert opinion also. Or you can always refer the case to the expert as well while filing your replies. This is also very important, document identification number. Mandatory generation and quoting of DIN with effect from 24th December 2019 in respect of all communications, including emails sent to taxpayer others by officers. Document not containing DIN invalid. If any specified communication which does not bear the electronically generated DIN shall be treated as invalid and shall be deemed to have never been issued. So unless it does not have DIN, you can always challenge. But there are certain exceptions to it. When DIN may not be there, or when DIN can be post ipso facto also there. In exception circumstances, communication may be issued without an auto-generated DIN, only after recording the reasons in writing. Also, such communication shall expressly state that it has been issued without a DIN. When there are technical difficulties in generating electronic DIN, when communication regarding investigation, inquiry, verification, etc. is required to issue at short notice, urgent situation, authorized officer is outside the office in the discharge of his official duties, any communication issued without electronically generated DIN in the exigencies mentioned shall be regularized within 15 working days of its issuance. Officer is not in the office, immediate matter is to be addressed. There is some possibility of altering the situations, altering the scenes of crime or with the document or something like that. Then immediate notices are issued without DIN within 15 days from the issuance of notice. That has to be regularized. But that is to be mentioned that it is being issued without DIN and will be regularized within 15 days. Now replies. While acknowledging the reply, show cause, always remember to put date and time over the acknowledgement copy. Normally what happened, this is generally done by all our senior chartered accountants during our trainings also. Whenever a notice was received, we always used to write the date and time over the acknowledgement copy in order to prove that the service is being done on this time. If a show cause is being served, there is no point in avoiding to receive it. It has to be received and then contested. Non-receipt is sometimes considered as a service only. 169 is very, very detailed. They make now, even in VAT regimes also, they used to serve notices of section 69 for the assessment under DVAT on the portal itself. The moment you open your login ID password, the notice is served and deemed to be read. So that way it is to be carefully replied, because should not be avoided to service should not be avoided for larger reasons. It would be advisable to pay GST before show cause issued. Show cause cannot be issued for the amount already paid. If you feel that there is a problem, show cause is not yet issued, pay tax through DRC-03. Then show cause and intimate, and then show cause will not be issued. Even if it is issued, will not stand for that particular matter. Whenever show cause is intended to enhance your liability already assessed or reduce the refund, opportunity दी जाएगी. Amount of tax, interest and penalty demanded cannot be in excess of amount specified in the notice as per section. At times, the computation of amount demanded not available. Recomputation, we have already discussed this thing. Department can adjudicate only on the issue mentioned in show cause. Otherwise, no this thing can be done. It is advised to read the show cause thoroughly. If you have not understood any point mentioned, then read it again and again till you understand. So please read show cause very, very thoroughly, clearly. At least 2-3 times you should read to understand the flow, the mechanics, the charges framed, the taxes levied upon you, so that you can actually have the detailed feeling of the show cause, and then you will be able to identify the shortcomings. The noticee should take every possible defense in accordance with the relevant statutory provisions, rules, notification, favorable circulars, relevant case laws. This next point, which is largely many times we see that it is not there. Whenever a case comes to us from our fellow colleagues, we ask for the already replied office copies, what all you have already replied. Generally, it is not there in the file. So whenever you reply a show cause or any other notice of the department, whatever document you submit to the department, the office copy of the same should be kept as it is verbatim, so that it gives you the feel that what all documents are already being submitted. Even if the same documents next, this also happens many times when the department asks you the same documents time and again. Don't get irritated. Reply whenever you supply the documents already supplied. Write that by way of this letter you have already supplied this document, but again, when you have asked for it, we are submitting the same again. This will help you tomorrow in order to establish the fact that you have cooperated with the proceedings, the inquiry. And even if the documents were already being submitted, asked again, we supplied again. Verify the documents before submitting to the department. Also take approval of the consultant if possible. Whatever document you are submitting, please be very, very, very critical of those documents, very clear, very transparent of those documents. Clear in your mind what would this document have an impact. In case of revenue neutral situations such as non-payment of reverse charge, non-levy of GST on transactions made between distinct persons, noticee may take a stand. It happens, In case of reverse charge, it is revenue neutral. When you pay tax, you take credit. If you have not paid tax, not taken the credit also. So it does not make any loss to the revenue because it is revenue neutral. Similarly, in case of distinct person, when the 100% credit is available to the recipient according to Rule 28 of the Act, Rule 28 of the rules to CGST rules. So then also it is revenue neutral. You did not charge, the recipient did not claim it. So it is on the same pan, but you may take a stand. If compliance is not made, then at the same time, no loss to the revenue is also occurred. You may take a stand. As tax paid by one would have been available to another distinct person as a recipient. So in that case, a defense may be taken to drop this and charge a nominal penalty for non-compliance of the provisions of law. Section 125 can be invoked. There is a judgment of Mumbai, tribunal also, Jet Airways, where it was the same case was there, and a nominal penalty was imposed upon, and then the show cause was dropped. That particular point was dropped because of revenue neutrality. Wherever the department has placed reliance on the statement of the third party and the same is not made available to the noticee, he must ask for the same and cross-examine. The other party, say for example, you have purchased some goods from a supplier of yours who has admitted in front of the department that he has made the bogus billing. The department is relying upon that statement made by that supplier of yours to initiate proceedings against you. You have a right to take that statement and cross-examine that person also of the statement which he has made. This is also Basudev Garg versus Commissioner of Custom, Delhi High Court judgment is there, and various judgments are there which gives you right to cross-examine any material which is used against you, or have read that material or cross-examine those statements which is used against you. So you have a right to cross-examine those statements which is used against you. Wherever department has relied upon a case law in show cause, noticee should read it carefully and try to distinguish his case from the relied upon judgment. If the department has mentioned a particular advance ruling or a particular case law, department is even mentioning the advance ruling also, my dear friends, I'm telling you. And you can always say that advance ruling is applicable only to the applicant under section 97 of the act. It does not apply to me. So it does not have any legal bearing. That's it. Although the department is in its valid rights to issue show cause under section 73 or 74, but that advance ruling will not stand any ground, because that is applicable only to the applicant who has sought the advance ruling. And whenever they have referred for any particular jurisdictional case, high court judgment, then you have to read that judgment carefully, thoroughly, and distinguish your facts in the reply to the show cause only, that in that judgment which you have relied upon is my facts, our facts are at variance with that judgment on these lines. So you have to distinguish those judgments also. Give point-wise reply also, always give reply or explanation to all points mentioned in show cause, and wherever necessary, substantiate the reply with documentary evidences. No, do not leave any question asked. Reply for every point. Detailed reply must be submitted along with the earlier decided case laws. A list of evidences on which you are relying upon must be submitted. Proper reply paves the way for effective future litigation. If you reply for each and every point mentioned in show cause, future in tribunal, in high court, you have a fair chances to actually demonstrate the fact that for each and every point you have replied, you have submitted the documents, you have submitted the case laws on which you have relied upon. Last but not the least, if it is found to the assessee that he has a weak case to contest, then it is advisable to pay GST before a show cause notice is issued for the same, as SCNs cannot be issued for the amounts already paid. This was about the basic details about the how to reply, what all the legal issues which you have to see and seek. Now I would request, because I knew that we'll have 1 hour or 30 minutes discussion, and now we'll dedicate our next 20-25 minutes which we have to our query session, which we may have. If Abhishek is listening me.
Yes sir. Sir, I have been listening you throughout. बस
Thank you.
क्या है ना, मैं ब्रैकेट में अपने आप को हाइड कर लेता हूँ so that movement से डिस्टर्ब ना हो.
Thank you, sir.
Because in cricket also we have a black screen. So I keep my screen black. So there's one question from Vinod Kesri ji. He's asking, Bijli bill of father or mother name. What GST registration not given from your T? I think question is not clear.
केसरी जी सवाल दोबारा पूछें.
और रश्मि मैम का मैसेज आया है, congratulating you. She's saying very detailed, in-depth analysis.
Thank
Yes,
you,
ma'am.
ma'am. Thank you.
We agree and we are looking forward for your session also, जो कि 24 जुलाई को है. ओम प्रकाश अग्रवाला जी का मैसेज आया है, सर आपका मैसेज आना इट्स एन ऑनर. So there's a question which you would like to have. ये क्वेश्चन देख लीजिए सर.
officer is issued RFD 8 on time lapse, it is correct, or some notification available or refund claim time extended to 31st. Application, the time is extended for application of filing of refund, but when it is rejected, I believe it will also fall into that thing. Notification 55/20. This is a good observation. Even if your refund is rejected, wait. No, I don't think so that 55/20 benefit shall be till 31st August benefit will be available to you. Now you have to file an appeal, ma'am. No, because originally if your time falls during that time, 20th March till 30th August, then only it automatically extends to 31st August. Otherwise not. You have already filed it, got it rejected. Now you have to file an appeal.
So now you have an order, and against order you have to file an appeal, and the order is rejection order of their refund, and there are no other queries.
गौरव राणा जी का एक सवाल है, what is the GST rate on interest under RCM? Is it 9%? What is the GST rate on interest under RCM? Interest under RCM. Interest under RCM. Interest पर तो कोई RCM है ही नहीं. अच्छा चलिए, इंटरेस्ट पर तो कोई RCM है ही नहीं. गौरव जी, आप दोबारा सवाल पूछे अगर सुन रहे हैं मुझे तो.
क्वाइट पॉसिबल टाइपो एरर हुई हो, इंटरेस्ट के बजाय कुछ और लिख रहे हो, इंटरेस्ट रेट लिख रहे होंगे.
नहीं, इंटरेस्ट रेट आर. देखिए, मैं आपको थोड़ा सा जवाब दे देता हूँ इसके ऊपर, थोड़ा सा एज्यूम करके कि अगर आपने RCM डिलेड जमा कराया है तो ब्याज आपको सेक्शन 50 में 18% ही लगेगा. और आप मान लीजिए फॉर एग्जांपल, आप दूसरा एग्जांपल लेता हूं कि आपने अपनी फरवरी मार्च अप्रैल तक की रिटर्न जो है 24 जून तक जमा कराई है, 5 करोड़ से ऊपर है, तो आपको 9% ब्याज लग रहा है. उसमें RCM की सप्लाई भी थी, सप्लाई विच इज टैक्सेबल अंडर RCM, आउटवर्ड सप्लाई विच इज टैक्सेबल अंडर RCM, तो उस पर ब्याज 9% ही लगेगा. सप्लाई ही होगी. टैक्सेबल अंडर फॉरवर्ड चार्ज और टैक्सेबल अंडर रिवर्स चार्ज कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. तो मैंने दोनों प्रोबेबिलिटीज से जिससे ये सवाल विजुलाइज किया जा सकता है, मैंने आपका जवाब दिया.
क्वेश्चन रजिस्ट्रेशन नॉट क्विक, आई थिंक इसका तो आंसर हो चुका है. अभी सर्कुलर आया है, डीम्ड माने जा रहे हैं.
हाँ, एक इंस्ट्रक्शन निकाली है केसरी साहब. आपसे, आपके नाम से तो मुझे बजरंग बली का नाम याद आता है. तो एक इंस्ट्रक्शन निकाली है अभी, और 17 जुलाई को इंस्ट्रक्शन निकाली डिपार्टमेंट ने सेक्शन 25 सबसेक्शन 2 में अमेंडमेंट में, और उसके ऊपर इंस्ट्रक्शन निकाली है कि अगर आपने कोई भी 30 जून तक रजिस्ट्रेशन अप्लाई किया होगा तो 15 जुलाई तक रजिस्ट्रेशन आपने अप्लाई किया होगा तो हम नहीं, 30 जून तक अप्लाई किया होगा तो उसको हम 15 जुलाई तक क्लियर कर देंगे. तो वो डेट तो ऑलरेडी निकल चुकी थी, बट एनीवेज वो ऑटोमेटिकली डीम्ड अप्रूवल आपका हो जाएगा. रजिस्ट्रेशन में दिक्कत आ रही है अप्रूवल्स में, मैंने भी नोटिस किया है, हमारे ऑफिस से भी काफी रजिस्ट्रेशन पेंडिंग है. तो लेकिन अब शायद थोड़ा एक्सपेडाइट होने की उम्मीद होगी.
ठीक है सर. सो ऑल ऑफ द क्वेश्चंस हैव बीन टेकन केयर ऑफ.
चलिए, बढ़िया है सर.
थैंक यू, आपने समय निकाला अपने बिजी शेड्यूल से.
नहीं सर, मोस्ट वेलकम सर. मेरे ख्याल सबको बात समझ आई होगी कि हम लोग क्या डिस्कस कर रहे हैं और कैसे है, और इतनी सारी इश्यूज को शो कॉस्ट से रिलेटेड अगर कोई भी आपको समस्या हो तो आप बिल्कुल घबराएं नहीं, आप इन सब बातों को रेफर करें. और मुझे नहीं लगता कि ऐसी बहुत बड़ी समस्या है. आपको थोड़ा सा डिलीजेंटली, थोड़ा सा इंटेलिजेंटली, थोड़ा सा इन्फॉर्म तरीके से इसके रिप्लाईज को तैयार करना चाहिए. एंड आई थिंक अगेन, जैसा मैंने कहा कि हम चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट्स को अपना यूजर मैनुअल जरूर पढ़ना चाहिए और अपना जो पोटेंशियल है उसको ज्यादा से ज्यादा यूज करना.
मैं बिल्कुल आपकी बात से इत्तेफाक रखता हूँ, बट ऑन यूट्यूब it is for everyone. So businessman could also be viewing this, and it might be a case a student or a accountant might also be viewing it. A senior accountant could also be accessing this.
नहीं ठीक है,
So
वो तो
this
अच्छी
for
बात है,
everyone. लेकिन
सारे
आपने
देख रहे हैं।
तो ये आपने जिस तरह से समझाया, इनफैक्ट इनका भी अपना यूट्यूब चैनल है, जिस पर बहुत इनके यूट्यूब चैनल की मैं खासियत बताता हूँ कि आपको कोई भी समस्या हो लेटेस्ट में तो उस पर इनका वीडियो जरूर मिल जाता है, और सबसे अच्छी बात वीडियो बहुत छोटा होता है। तो इनका चैनल है जीएसटी की राह में,
आपका दोस्त,
आपका दोस्त, और ये है भी सबके दोस्त हैं, देखिए पीछे लिखा हुआ भी है, अगर आप इनके उस पर जाइए देखिए पीछे लिखा हुआ भी है जीएसटी की राह में आपका दोस्त, ये इनका कॉलम है।
चैनल का भी नाम यही है।
जी 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 जी, पैनल का नाम भी वही है। तो इनके चैनल पैनल पर भी जाइए और देखिए जीएसटी की राह में वाकई दोस्त हैं सबके, और समय निकाला हमारे लिए, थैंक यू सर, थैंक्स लॉट। कल
थैंक
मिलते
यू
हैं
वेरी
4
मच
बजे,
अभिषेक।
कल 4 बजे व्यूवर्स फिर मिलते हैं किसी और टॉपिक के साथ, किसी और सेलिब्रिटी के साथ। थैंक यू।
थैंक यू सर, थैंक यू।